In a small village nestled between the rolling hills of an ancient African kingdom, there lived a young girl named Nayasha. She was born into a home filled with love and laughter. Her father, Baba Omari, was a great hunter, known for his skill in tracking animals through the dense forests. Her mother, Mama Abini, was a kind and wise healer, respected by all for her knowledge of herbs and remedies. Nayasha's childhood was filled with happiness. Every morning, she would wake up to the scent of roasted yams and fresh honey as her mother prepared breakfast. After eating, she would run outside, her feet touching the soft earth, and play with the other children under the shade of the great baobab tree. In the evenings, her father would return from hunting, lifting her high into the air before telling stories by the fire. Nayasha, he would say, the good heart is more valuable than gold. Kindness is a light that no darkness can put out. Nayasha listened to his words carefully and always tried to be kind to everyone she met. She would help the elders carry firewood, share her food with hungry children, and comfort anyone who was sad. But fate can be cruel. One year, a great drought came to the land. The rivers dried up, crops withered, and food became scarce. People began to leave the village in search of better lands, but Nayasha's family stayed, hoping the rains would return. One day, her father went deep into the forest, determined to bring home food for his family. He promised to return before sunset, but night fell, and Baba Omari did not come back. Days turned into weeks, and still there was no sign of him. The villagers whispered that he had been lost to the forest spirits or taken by wild animals. Nayasha's mother, already weak from hunger, became sick with grief. Though the villagers tried to help, nothing could cure her broken heart. One quiet morning, she called Nayasha to her side and held her hand. "My daughter," she whispered, "never let the world change your kindness." With that, Mama Abini closed her eyes and passed away. Nayasha, now orphaned, cried until her tears ran dry. She had lost everything, her home, her happiness, and the warmth of her family. With nowhere to go, Nayasha was taken in by one of her mother's distant relatives, a woman named Mama Zala. But Mama Zala was not kind. She only took Nayasha in so she could use her as a servant. Mama Zala had two daughters, Adana and Juma, who were as cruel as their mother. They wore fine clothes and ate the best food, while Nayasha wore rags and ate whatever was left after everyone else had finished. "Fetch the water," Adana would command. "Wash my clothes," Juma would add. "You are nothing but a poor orphan," Mama Zala would remind her. Despite their cruelty, Nayasha remained kind. She never raised her voice, never fought back, and always treated others with respect. But the villagers, seeing her tattered clothes and humble ways, mocked her. "She is a fool," they said. "She will die poor and alone." But the spirits of the land were watching. One day, as Nayasha walked deep into the forest to collect firewood, she saw an old woman struggling to carry a heavy bundle of sticks. Though she had little strength, Nayasha ran to help. "Thank you, my child," the old woman said. "Because of your kindness, great things will come your way." Nayasha smiled, thinking little of the old woman's words, and continued her work. Far away in the royal palace, the young prince of the kingdom, Prince Kwame, was searching for a wife. He wanted a woman with a pure heart, not one who only cared for riches. Disguised as an ordinary man, he traveled from village to village, looking for such a woman. When he arrived at Nayasha's village, the women of the town dressed in their finest clothes, hoping to catch his eye. Adana and Juma laughed at Nayasha and refused to let her go, saying she was too ugly and poor for the prince. But that night the old woman from the forest appeared to Nayasha in a dream. Go to the village square tomorrow, she whispered. Your destiny awaits. Nayasha woke up and, with no fine clothes to wear, simply washed her face and combed her hair. She went to the village square in her clean but humble dress. When Prince Kwame saw Nayasha, he was drawn to her gentle eyes. He watched as she helped an old man carry his basket and shared her food with a hungry child. Who is that girl? He asked. The villagers scoffed. She is just a poor orphan. She is of no importance. But the prince smiled. A woman's beauty is in her heart, not her clothes. He approached Nayasha and spoke kindly to her. She, unaware of his identity, spoke humbly and kindly in return. Then, to everyone's shock, he took off his simple disguise, revealing himself as the prince. I have found my bride, he declared. Mama Zala and her daughters gasped in horror, but it was too late. The prince took Nayasha to the palace, where she was bathed in gold and dressed in the finest royal robes. Her kindness had brought her a destiny greater than anyone had imagined. And so, the poor girl who was hated by all became the beloved queen of the land, teaching her people that kindness is the greatest beauty of all.